What's going on, Fanout Crew? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Colby Sullivan. I'm your host, as always, joined by my best friend, Jonathan Agricola. Jonathan, how's it going, man?
Dude, it is going phenomenal, Colby. How you been, man?
Good. Still dealing with some stuff at the house, some contractor stuff, but I have a second pinball machine incoming
Oh,
next
nice.
week, so that's gonna help.
Excellent.
It's gonna help take care of that, and then I'll have to probably put it away while the dust gets all over it. But yeah, looking forward to that. It's a machine that I kind of grew up on in the 80s. Actually, the first pinball machine I ever played. So
What's the name of it?
it's called Jokers, and it's like a card-based game, and it's just really nostalgic for me. I'm really excited for Cameron to check it out. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of Cameron, I know your house is just as a buzz as mine is right now with going back to school. Oh my God, It's nuts out here.
Yeah,
It is nuts.
tomorrow's his first day of second grade. I can't believe he's in second grade.
Brandon's in eighth.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Eighth grade. It's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, like you and your pinball machine, I am currently working on that amazing Optimus Prime Lego figure.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm 4 bags in out of the 12, and he looks like he's just like the first bag was his torso, second bag was his hips, and the third bag were his upper legs, and this fourth bag was literally just his lower right leg.
Oh man,
it is so cool. It is so cool seeing this guy come together.
How long have you spent on it already?
Not that long. Like, dude, my ADHD it just kicks in. I like bite my tongue, like start mouth breathing, and I'm just building this thing. I don't stop. So it doesn't feel like I've spent that long. Maybe an hour.
Okay,
it's fun. It's just fun, and it's just.
Do you have it in there with you right now?
Like, oh no, I'll bring it up if we take a break in the show real quick. I'll run back there and get it. He's he's big. he's a chunky boy.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
Yeah, awesome. I know that all this information is really fun for everybody out there, but that is not why we're here, Colby. Why are we here?
Wanted to talk about 2 things that came out recently. We touched on them last stream, namely The Sandman and the recent Predator movie that came out on Hulu, Prey.
Oh, so excellent.
They finally ran out of Predator-based titles, so then they went the other direction. It's like Fast and the Furious, man. Like, stop.
I could see somebody in the naming department was just like, what's Spanish for predator? Go to hell, Steve. We're using a different word.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's actually talk about The Sandman first, if that's okay.
Yeah, man. And again, this is no non-spoilers. Colby, I believe we discussed this.
I mean, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to spoil anything, but at the same time, I'm gonna try to not be spoilery. But there are things that I'm gonna talk about that do happen in the show. So it depends on what you consider to be a spoiler. For people like, I'll just get right into it. A little bit of background on this. The Sandman is a series of comic books, graphic novels that was written by Neil Gaiman, who is one of the best authors of this, generation, really. It's definitely tied into DC. I mean, it's owned by DC Comics, and there are some DC properties that are, present in this story.
Are those spoilers if you mentioned any of them?
No,
now I have my curiosity. Now, excuse me, Colby, if I may. Yeah. You're talking to somebody that I have not watched Sandman yet. So
yeah, so it's DC adjacent, right? Like John Constantine is in the graphic novel, the comic book, right? In this iteration of it on Netflix, they have changed it to Joanna Constantine, but it's the same character essentially.
Okay.
So this is, I mean, that's literally the only thing that I can think of that they've changed. I've watched the first 5 episodes, and there's 10, I believe, so I'm halfway through. It's a perfect adaptation so far. I mean, I listened to the audiobook 2 years ago or last year at some time, and it's like an ensemble cast. I really like the audiobooks that do that. They've got music and sound effects and stuff like that. You're in the car, long drive, just throw on an audiobook and zone out. James McAvoy, young Professor X in the X-Men films, is the voice of he has many names. Dream is his like official title. Dream of the Endless. The Endless is a group of sort of primordial beings that all have.
You're talking about the audiobooks, right? James McAvoy, right?
James McAvoy is the voice. Yeah.
In the audiobooks.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I was like, wait, what are we talking about here?
But the guy that plays him in this series, I think his name is Tom Sturgis or something like that. I can't remember. He's
a fish.
He's excellent, dude. Like,
oh, awesome.
Very well cast. He sounds exactly like the way I thought an adaptation would, based on James McAvoy's performance. He sounds perfect. But he's part of this group called the Endless, and they all start with D: dream, destiny, desire, death. Right? He's essentially the Lord of Dreams. His real name is Morpheus, so make of that what you will. But it's not in the Matrix. But he is essentially the Sandman that we've heard about. You know, he's the reason why people are able to sleep and wake up and have dreams and all that stuff.
Nice.
All of his power comes from these three. He calls them tools that he has. I don't want to go into the details of them, but there's three things that he carries with him that are essentially like himself imbued in these items. So without them, he has no powers, or not. He's very little power, right?
All right.
Just to give you a kind of a like synopsis of the first episode, it takes place in the early 20th century. World War I is going on, and this we arrive at this guy's house. It's like a huge, sort of like really creepy looking manor type building, right?
Yeah.
We find out he's doing some kind of rituals and experiments and things like that, and he's given this grimoire, they call it, which is essentially a book of spells, and he is essentially trying to bring back his son who has died in World War I, right?
Okay.
So he's been studying magic and sorcery for a while, and he's played by Charles Dance, who is Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones, also the bad guy in Last Action Hero. I mean, you know him, like you see his face and you know that, even if you don't know his name, you know the guy. By the way, he is every bit of as bad of a father in this as he is in Game of Thrones. It's like only part he can play. Not really. I mean, he's brilliant, but he's cast to be the villain because he's just that good at it, right? So we see him doing these chants and this ritual type thing, and he says he wants to trap the angel of death to be able to bring his son back, because that couldn't possibly backfire. And it's not going to work well. And by chance or accident, or we don't really know, he actually ends up trapping Dream instead.
Okay.
So he takes his tools, the I don't want to really, it's not really a spoiler, but he has 3 items that he carries with him, right? And they are quintessential to his character, right?
All right.
The dude takes them, and they sort of imbue him with like long life and stuff like that. So like almost an entire century goes by, like 70 years, like sort of pass by, just like over a couple of different scenes, right? Like as soon as Dream is captured, he says like 1 million people over the world, like across the world, like can't wake up from their sleep that they're in, right? Some of them do. A lot of them don't. Like 1 million people just can't wake up, and they grow old and they just sort of sleep. And then others can't go to sleep because they were on the opposite side. It's a whole thing, but it's bad for him to be prisoned, right? It's kind of like if like did you ever watch Supernatural?
Not the entire series, but I saw a lot of it.
Yeah. So just imagine, like, if you were to, like literally put a stop to death, right? Imagine the type of like harm that would do to the planet, right? It's life and death is a circular, like integral thing as for the earth to function, or for reality.
Having a trillion people that are immortal, I can imagine that would be an issue.
So imagine people not being able to dream or sleep properly or wake up from sleep. Like, it causes a whole avalanche of bad things, right?
Yeah.
And the rest of the first episode is essentially him figuring out how he's going to escape from this prison that he's in. And it's not really a spoiler. I mean, he escapes. Because
Okay.
I mean, that would be a really short, show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap everything
but-
up. They were gonna save a lot of money on that title.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, he must not. He's never gonna be able to get out of that trap, is he, Colby?
Right. That's
Or is it,
the
or
that's
is
the
it
M.
super
Night, that's the
easy?
M. Night
Barely an
Shyamalan.
inconvenience.
Yeah, that's the M. Night Shyamalan twist, is he doesn't get out. But so he's been gone so long that his kingdom, his actual like dream world where he has a palace and like has subjects and stuff, is like decaying and is all like crumbling, and everybody's gone because like he's been gone and they kind of thought that he abandoned them, right?
Yeah.
So he has very little power and his kingdom is crumbling down, and he realizes he has to go on a quest to retrieve his 3 tools.
Okay.
It's really cool. That's really all I want to kind of like say on it as far as like spoilery type stuff. I tried not to go too crazy with it, but so far, I mean, dude,
you didn't spoil a single thing at all for me.
Yeah, it's a perfect adaptation. There is one scene that takes place in a diner, and fans of the comic will know exactly what I'm talking about just by saying the word diner, and they absolutely nail it, dude.
Okay.
Definitely check it out. That scene takes place in episode 5, I believe. It's really good, man. I mean,
good.
It's really good. Like I said, it's DC adjacent, so you will hear certain references to things that, especially in the graphic novel,
All right,
they just casually mention Arkham Asylum, stuff like that. John Constantine is obviously a DC property, so yeah, it's really good. I'd recommend it for those who haven't seen it, haven't checked it out. Give it a watch. I think you'll like it.
I am definitely going to check it out. I think I've lied to Colby like 18 times this weekend, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it." I just have not got around to doing it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
As we mentioned before, man, there's a lot of stuff to do this time of year, particularly when it comes to kids. So
yeah, totally.
But that is one thing that I will go out and watch with Colby. I can tell you something that I'm not going to be able to watch ever. Batgirl.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. Batgirl got.
Yeah, that was a nice DC segue. Like I said, it's DC adjacent, so this is related.
Yeah.
So,
dude, okay, so apparently the whole story goes as such. Warner Brothers joined with Discovery.
Yeah,
they got a new CEO.
And they're officially titled Warner Brothers Discovery now, right?
Yes,
God,
it is
horrible.
official. Warner Brothers Discovery. New boss daddy says this movie is shit. We are not going to release it.
Wow.
We'll throw in the trash can and recover our losses via taxes. That is how bad this movie is. Now, the big thing I want to discuss with you is just really quick. You can say yay or nay. You don't have to agree with me, but I think
which ones means yes. I'm sorry.
Yay or nay. But which ones means yes? I will say this is, in fact, a good thing. These guys say they want to go on a 10-year plan comparable to the MCU. This is verbatim. This comes from the Warner Brothers Discovery office.
Is it Walter Hamada? Is that the?
No, it's a new guy.
He's gone, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he just stepped down over this whole Batgirl thing. But I think it is a good, because here's the thing, right? They want to do.
Wait, maybe it's Alan Horn, the guy that.
Not yet. Okay. They don't have anybody. They don't have a producer for this 10-year plan yet. They don't have anything. They just know that is the direction they want to go.
They just put that.
So really
money.
quick. So really quick, Colby, I'm going to ask you. This is. Do you miss the fact that you're not going to be able to see a Batgirl movie?
Me personally, no.
Yeah. All right. Now, if I told you Michael Keaton is in this movie as Batman, do you now want to see this movie?
I mean, I wanted to see it, but
okay.
I don't know that I'm going to miss it, because if it was apparently as bad as it is, I don't want to watch that movie. Like,
correct.
Morpheus. Should they have released Morpheus as bad as it was?
You're talking about Morbius?
Sorry, I'm thinking Dream.
Morbius. I know you are, buddy.
If they had released, or chose not to release Morbius based on knowing how bad it was, would you have missed that?
Nope.
Yeah,
not at all. I still haven't seen Morbius. I tried watching it.
Dude, it's so bad.
I tried watching it on a 8-hour flight. Still couldn't watch the goddamn thing.
Wow.
So anyway, and to my point, right now, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Did you want to see that movie?
Quite.
Knowing that John Krasinski, spoilers, that John Krasinski appears as Mr. Fantastic, would that have changed whether or not you were going to go see this movie or not?
Like if I didn't want to go see it, but then I heard
that
he was going to be in it,
or either way, like you heard it and you were going to go see it anyway.
I don't think it would have changed my mind, because if I didn't want to see it, I don't think that would have swayed me. But if I did want to see it, it would have made it even more, hyped for me to go see it. I don't think it would have changed my mind.
So this is now to that point. Now we could say that Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness does absolutely nothing. Essentially, he does absolutely nothing in this film, right? So if Michael Keaton was on the screen 50% of the movie and he did something of relevance, I'm sure they would have brought that up. It's like, wow, this is really good, or this is really good.
Yeah.
But when you have everybody throwing into the hat that this movie is terrible, and okay, so this is the thing, right? If Iron Man was bad, do you think Iron Man would have been the birth of the MCU?
Nope. It would have been just another comic book movie of that era. It would have been
exactly
Fantastic Four, the first one we got.
Yep. And so what I think in DC or Warner Brothers is sick of this. We'll push it out. We'll make back half of our losses, and then we'll try to make it up in streaming somehow, or market a whole bunch of damn toys, or whatever the hell their strategy scheme is, or whatever.
Yeah.
So apparently the new CAO has come out and he said, hey, look, we're not putting out crap from here on out, man. We are not putting out movies for the sake of putting out movies. We're going to start a 10-year plan. We're going to focus around our major characters. And he mentioned Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman by name.
Here, let me pull up this quote, because I think I may have found the one or the same thing you're talking about. 1 second. Okay, let me know when you can see it.
I can see it. I can't read it though; it's too small print. I don't know if you can zoom. You got to zoom again. That's pretty good.
All right, so yeah, David Zaslav is. His name.
They call it really quick. They call it the Axe of Zaslav because he's been cutting properties.
Yeah, our ambition is to bring Warner's back and to produce great, high quality films. And as we look at the opportunities that we have broadly, DC is one of the top of the list for us. Zaslav explained. You look at Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. These are brands that are known everywhere in the world. The ability to drive those all over the world with great story is a big opportunity for us. We have done a reset. We've restructured the business. We're going to focus. There will be a 10-year plan focusing just on DC. It's very similar to the structure that Alan Horn and Bob Iger put together very effectively with Kevin Feige at Disney.
Nice.
And then he kind of, I mean, I can keep going, but
no, we get it. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
So to me, that gets me excited. That gets me as excited when I heard there was a Man of Steel movie coming out. And if you remember, if it wasn't like, I was excited, as I think everyone was, we were amped about a Batman v Superman movie when it was announced. It's like, dude, this is good. Batman and Superman on the screen.
How could they possibly mess it up?
Oh my God. And then you have some moderate success. Like I'll defend Suicide Squad. I thought it was great. The first Suicide. I still have not seen the Suicide Squad.
Oh my. Okay, dude, you need to come over one weekend and just watch that. It is. Okay. It's, in my opinion, it's the best movie of the DCEU.
But to my point, it's just I'm over those. I'm over DC at this point. I'm like, I'll catch it later. I didn't check out Batman, or was it the Batman?
The Batman,
Battinson.
Robert Battenbat.
Yeah, but so I watched it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't watch it until it was in my living room.
Yeah. Whereas MCU, you're going out to the theater and stuff.
Oh my God. And so if they release a Batgirl movie and the critics throw it under the bus, the test audiences throw it under the bus, I'm not going to get off my ass and go see your movie, man. I'm not. It's so bad that they didn't even put it onto streaming. It is gone.
Yeah, they had the opportunity to do that with HBO Max, so they must be truly horrible.
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
know,
nothing to recoup from anything about this
mhm.
movie. Now,
$90
really
million
quick,
gone.
yeah. Now, no, it's not 90. They'll probably get like 40 back. So it's probably
Well,
a
I
$50
just mean
million
that
dollar
that's what
loss
they spent on it. It does beg the question though. Why wouldn't they at least release it to try to recoup some of that? I mean,
because
it
because
must
if they
it must be
here's
that
the thing.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. If they have a Batgirl movie comes out, it gets panned by the critics. They've also got another $90 million movie coming out a year from now, and it is Aqualad or whatever the hell they do. And you're
Yeah.
like, do you not remember what just happened? It is just going to keep doing this. Eventually, no one's going to go see your $90 million movie and you're making $10 million. You see what I'm saying? And the other thing is $90 million is what they've spent on it already. There's more
Yeah.
tens of
Oh
millions that got
yeah.
to come along
Marketing,
with putting
all
it
that
into the,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're good. Now, really quick. Hey, Colby, you can cut me off if I'm stepping over right here. I'm going to take a quote really quick from Kevin Smith. It's an
I was
incredibly,
going to bring this up. I'm glad you did.
yeah, it's an incredibly bad look to cancel a Latina Batgirl movie. If I may, Kevin Smith, really quick. Kevin Smith, you know your stuff about movies, all right? Here's the thing. If the movie comes out and it is shit, what happens every single time? Everybody gets panned.
Mhm.
If it comes out and I just say, hell, what if I go to it and it's okay? And in my opinion, it's just okay. Or I give it a, nah, I'm good. It wasn't that great. I then get told I don't like Latina-led superhero movies.
Yep.
That's what happens to me.
Yeah.
If it comes out and I don't like it, I get told I don't like Latina superheroes. So, but if they don't release it because it's bad,
Yeah, Eric
then
has a point. Eric has a point. They may have wanted to start over and just not want that story to be in their 10-year plan. But
that makes sense.
I think, look, I normally agree with most of the stuff that Kevin Smith says. He and I usually have a very sort of even keel when it comes to this kind of stuff. He showed his hand when he said the word Latina. If he had just said, if you took his entire quote and just take that one word out, the entire connotation changes.
Yeah.
Right. But what he's ended up saying is it doesn't matter how bad the movie is, representation matters more than that. And it's like, dude, no. Okay.
No.
People are tired of Hollywood's just message, right? I'm not going to go into it. Look at Top Gun Maverick. Today I found out it's the 7th highest grossing movie of all time. Just do that, and people will universally love.
And I have just recently found out that it was Tom Cruise that stepped out and said, "You will have to kill me to not give this thing a theatrical release."
Yeah.
He's like, "You will have to commit first-degree murder on me to not let this thing go into the theater." And I'm so happy that all these guys do that shit, dude. Okay. So, really quick, all I'm going to say, the last thing I'm going to say about this whole thing, the other thing, like he scrapped a few projects too. First thing he did with this new guy when he showed back up, and
Jimmy's right. Sorry, John. Jimmy.
Get me with it.
Yeah, he said it's because they went back to the roots and they didn't try to like hammer a message, down your throat with it. I'm talking about Maverick.
Speaking of messages, I cannot wait till we get into our final thing we're going to talk about this evening. But first, I got a couple of questions for you, Colby.
Oh my God,
Colby, it's really quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
is this
over
trivia or
this is trivia?
Context?
This is not answers without context. There are correct answers to these.
Because I'm good at trivia.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys can play at home if you really want to. It's fine. You can keep score if you know them. That's great. Colby's only going to have about 10 to 15 seconds to get these. Colby's also one of those guys, if he doesn't know something, he doesn't like to think about it a long time.
Yeah, I'll be like, nah.
So yeah, he's just like, nah, fuck it. I'm wrong. Question number one.
That's never happened.
And Colby, if you get this wrong, I'm going to laugh at you. Question number one. What blockbuster franchise can boast about being the number one grossing hit of 1986, but is also the current highest grossing movie of 2022?
Transformers the movie. Top Gun.
Top Gun, correct. Number two, what 1975 summer mega hit directed by Steven Spielberg
Jaws.
was the movie that first coined the term blockbuster. Congratulations. Number 3, what year did Back to the Future dominate the box office, followed by Beverly Hills Cop, Cocoon, and The Goonies?
85.
It was 1985 because that's when they had to get back to in all the Back to the Future movies. Number 4,
Eric, it was not Joust the movie.
it was not just no, Eric, grounded. Go home. Go sit in the corner. Question number 4. We know that Top Gun Maverick is the current champ of 2022, but what movie is currently second place in total gross? Is it Thor: Love and Thunder, The Batman, Jurassic World Dominion, or Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness?
I believe Jurassic World.
Incorrect. It is Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, really?
Yeah, number 2. Number 5. Who directed 1984's The Terminator and 1991's Terminator 2: Judgment Day?
James Cameron.
Correct. Yeah, that was. I had to get him in there because his other two, all of his movies that are currently the record holders, aren't released in the summer.
It's like, what was James Cameron's best movie? I'm not saying it was Aliens.
Number 6. The Star Wars episodes 1 through 9 have all been released during what 2 months of the year?
Okay, I was gonna say it's not because the sequels changed it to December. I thought you were gonna say what month, so it's May and December.
Yes, correct. Number 7. What
you button hooked me? I didn't know you were gonna button hook me.
I love button hooking you. What Pixar animation movie used the tagline "We scare because we care"?
Monsters Inc.
Correct.
I had to. Monsters U is the sequel and prequel, and it's better.
Monster Pudding. Number 8. Who portrayed the character P.I. Eddie Valiant in 1988's number 1 hit Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Bob Haskins.
Correct. Number 9. What comic book movie still holds the record for highest grossing rated R movie of all time?
Blade.
Joker.
Oh, of course.
I got you for 2. Yeah. All right. If you don't get this one, we're ending the stream.
I forgot Joker. I forgot Joker existed because I watched it one time and I can't go back to that place.
Yeah. No? You can't watch it a second time. It's it's really weird to root for a guy that has anyway.
Yeah.
Number 10. What is the only movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards?
Black Panther.
Correct.
Definitely not Eternals.
8 out of 10. Very nicely done, sir.
Not too bad.
All right.
You hear about this thing though?
What thing? What thing we talking about over here?
There was a Predator movie that the studio didn't believe in, so they didn't put it in the theater and they released it on Hulu. You heard about this?
What the hell you say? No, I would watch the Predator movie.
You better pray that it's good. Okay, that's enough of that.
Oh, you mean Prey? That was a Predator movie?
Not from where I was sitting. So John, I hear you have a lot to say about Prey. So pray tell. All right, I'm done with the Prey puns.
Oh my God. Praise this movie if I shall. Dude, this movie was, at the end of the day, it was great. It was a solid movie. I had such a fun time. I think we touched on this. We were talking about the Batgirl. When you see a trailer, this is where we are, right? If this movie was made 10 years ago and I saw this trailer, I would have no apprehension about it whatsoever. I would have been like, oh, I'm going to see this movie. But in 2022, you see anything that is a female lead that apparently looks like she will be contending with a movie monster, you're sitting where I'm sitting. As I am,
buddy.
I am terrified that I'm going to get clubbered.
It's clubbering time.
I would be clobbered with a message.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot thank the creators of this movie enough for not clobbering me with a fucking message. It was a Predator movie. It was amazing. I enjoyed it from start to finish. There was a few slow parts. There was a few things that, like, I'll sit there, like, if anyone says, well, but the CGI, there were some CGI scenes. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'll give you that. I'll give you some complaints with the CGI. I'll give you some complaints about some of the dialogue that was used. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I am telling everybody that I meet to go freaking see it. I am not one of these people that is going to be like, oh, it was as good as the first. If you're one of those guys, by all means, I appreciate your opinion, but you're wrong. Right? So, and I'll let Colby tell me what he thought about it, and then we will do the whole back and forth pro and con thing.
So before I talk about this movie, let's back up 12 years to a little movie, a little ditty called Predators, which most people would just consider Predator 3, right?
Okay.
I mean, the AVP movies exist, but for the sake of the Predator canon, they don't. So whatever. Before this movie came out, I maintained that Predators was the best Predator sequel, not movie. The original, hands down, is the best movie in the Predator franchise. I'll hear no argument on that. I really, I really enjoyed Predators. I loved the ensemble cast. I loved the movie. Right? Was it the best movie? No. And then I sat down and watched Prey, and look, I really, really loved this. Well, really, really, really liked this film. I'm one tick below loving it. Like, this is a very, very good movie. And I think the only reason I didn't truly love it is because I had to watch it very low volume with the captions on because my wife was sleeping. So I probably will watch it again on my like surround sound system and stuff.
Dude, that was half of it.
And yeah. And I will say that there is a little bit of a message in this, but it's more about, it speaks more to the culture of the Comanches than it does about real life politics. Like, the thought of a female Comanche warrior in historical terms, to my knowledge, is basically unheard of, right? So when she goes with them to look for their buddy who was taken by the mountain lion or whatever, the dude is like, look, we don't need a cook, right? Like, and then her brother, you know, lost internet there for a second. Or
yeah, I know, anyway, that was weird. I lost it
so,
too.
Yeah.
It's gotta be the site.
Yeah. So anyway, I really enjoyed the movie. Cinematography was great. The music was on point. I like I said, I want to listen to it on, you know, with louder, you know, volume and stuff. I do have one slight nitpick, and I totally respect the director's design decisions and stuff. I didn't quite dig the look of the feral predator. It just didn't resonate with me the way that the classic one does, right? Like, to me, you know, that's kind of like it's kind of like changing Superman. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you just don't, you know. The Predator looks the way they look, right? And I understand this is supposed to be a more feral version, maybe even a slightly different species. I get it. Yeah. I was a little jarred, I guess, by their choice of skin color, and the dreadlocks were really thin. And again, I understand it's a different model, so to speak. I completely
agree with what Eric just said. It looked like the big ones from the Predators. Oh. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, it looked more like the Super Predators or whatever, or the, you know, the Bad Bloods. Again, I didn't hate the way it looked. Yeah, I'm all about that classic, you know, olive skin. This one was more like a dark brown, like purple color almost.
To your point, man, that is like when people start comparing it to the original Predator. Guys, I think I heard somebody else talk about this. The first Predator movie was lightning in a fucking bottle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
shouldn't have worked.
So many notes correctly. I'm not going to say the best, but it hits them
a true sense of terror.
Oh my god,
mystery! Like, dude,
because again, working against this movie, there's no mystery behind it. We know the Predator. You know, we know what's coming. It's like it's a formulaic movie at this point. Which is why it's just like, guys, you cannot box off the first freaking Predator movie and say that anything that is comparable to it can beat it. Like this. I just
it's a lot like Star Wars in that way, where like it shouldn't have worked. like it was a total mess, and then it just worked. They saved it, you know. Yeah, I really did like this movie. I really liked the suspense, and the Predator himself was really cool in this, as far as the the male Comanches they were like YOLO. I'm fucking taking on this thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas she was a lot more cerebral, and I liked the fact that she doesn't like overpower physically anyone in this. She's much more cerebral, and she spends 90% of this movie just fucking running, right?
And
Because
not only running, but watching, paying attention, learning.
Yeah. Whereas the guys get their asses kicked because they are just like the one dude when they're in the tall grass is like, we have him. And she's like, you're an idiot. We're dead. And then they take off, and then you see the grass just kind of moving because he's cloaked and stuff. Like, that was a really cool shot. Really enjoyed that. I loved the whole it's very subtle in this one, that they apparently this is the first time the Predators have been to Earth in the Predator canon. AVP, you know, it doesn't really count, I guess, with the whole pyramid thing. So they don't really like overtly say that, but I really liked how the Predator spends time sort of stalking different animals, and
that
then
was so awesome.
and then whichever one wins, it kills that. Like, okay, I need to go higher and higher. You know, does it with the snake, then with the wolf, and then with the bear and stuff. Like, I really dug that. And then was I was like, I saw the buffalo, and I was like,
oh yeah,
why the hell would the Predator do that?
And
then you know, and I was like, okay, that's really cool. Like, I loved that aspect of it.
Since we're getting into scenes, dude, like, you know, when she comes up on the buffalo and she says her little prayer and she puts her hand on its head and she puts the leaf on there and she walks off. There is, even though this Predator, this alien from another planet, doesn't have any idea what this buffalo is, he gets down, he sees the same cigar, he looks at the leaf, and just
my god,
in his
dude, yes, you're right. I didn't even like. I thought he was more of a tracking and stuff, but you're right. I think he was more of a
like, watch that body language again. Even he's saying, "This is fucked up.
Yeah,
this is not how you do this."
Yeah, that's cool.
Just like,
I didn't even pick up on that. I thought he was more doing like tracking her, but you're right. That's exactly what he was doing. Richard has a good point. This is my friend Richard here.
Hey, Richard.
Says, I hope they do one in each time period, dude. I would love that, like an Assassin's Creed style
Predators of the Caribbean.
Yeah, or you know, I mean, dude, you could do so much with this.
Yeah, want to know what franchise I actually had a little bit of hope watching this thing? All right, so first up, can we talk about a fucking Predator going fisticuffs with a grizzly bear? Can we talk about? Oh my god! Yeah. That was freaking phenomenal.
He's pretty wounded, that he being the Predator, and then the bear charges him, and he literally just sidesteps him and just bitch slaps him like right in the face. And I was
that's why you need to go watch this again. I watched it with this headset on.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it with better sound and stuff.
Listen to that punch. What's up, Momentum Minion? Welcome in, man. But
dude, is that Alex?
I can't tell if it's Alex or who this may be.
What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us.
But yeah, the right hook for the Predator was amazing.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The bear scene, the CGI is
yeah, we're not gonna, like, guys. Yeah, I think me and Colby are in the same. The CGI in this movie gets a solid C.
Yeah, look,
when it comes to the animals, like, there could have been a whole bunch of other stuff in there. Correct. I don't know, but just the animals were the C.
It was just the animals, but like, this 2022. As long as we're not talking Scorpion King level bad, CGI is not going to take us out of a movie anymore. Nope. You know, we've gotten past that point. You know, so
I'll buy into the fact. Okay, so anyway,
I did like that too, where you could see the blood and stuff on his while he was cloaked.
Dude,
that was legit. Yeah,
it was so cool. There's and again, there's a million little different scenes of this thing that were really freaking cool. And I had a thought. It was there. I was going to talk about it. Another thing I was going to discuss. Now, remember how the Predator, it started off, it kills the rattlesnake, and then it kills the wolf, and then it kills... Spoiler alerts, by the way. This thing's been up for...
we're well past that.
Yeah. So, and then it kills the bear, and then, of course, it starts Now, where that got me tracking is that is a comic line for Alien versus Predator. And these predators, they acknowledge the different skill sets that these wild animals have. And then they set up they go and they put down the xenomorph egg to impregnate these other different species of beings.
Mm-hmm.
So it got me excited to see that could be a thing, because we now have acknowledgement that the predator knows that there's different species of animals on here on Earth.
You're not kidding, man. The dude.
Oh my god.
I was like, if they kill this fucking dog, I'm so out of here right now.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Did you notice the little I thought this was cool. The Easter egg with the end of Predator 2 with the pistol, the Raphael Adeline. Like that's legit, dude. You know.
But that's another thing. There's a ton of little callbacks when they slice the brother. They slice him across his chest.
Yes, just like Billy. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's so many other little callbacks. Of course, if it bleeds, we could kill it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Dude,
good call, Eric. Even the Predator was like, "Nah, I ain't messing with the."
No.
Well, he had already killed it at that point, but the Predator was around when the lion was. But yeah.
So I think now a couple things that I hear people, like some of the naysaying stuff. I hear people talking about how like they're gonna pit the Predator up against a 120-pound-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? It's just like she can't contend. It's like they set it up. For all you guys that are hardcore, love the first Predator movie, they set it up. You could be Mr. Universe Dutch, fully muscle bound, have guns at your disposal. You still do not have a chance at a 1v1 tussle with a Predator. It does not matter how big you are. It goes in the movie. They establish that where it doesn't matter how big and strong you are. The guy goes hand to hand with a grizzly bear.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it was a man. Like, you wouldn't talk about like a fight I really want to see, like a what if. I would love to see like comic book Batman's Bane hand to hand with a Predator. That is something I would like to see.
Or just Batman. You know?
Batman versus Predator would be cool. But at the same time, I don't think Batman goes toe to toe with the Pred.
No,
I think he just outsmarts him.
That's the point. That's the only way to win. You know, one thing that I didn't really, Alex, definitely, man.
Hell yeah.
Let hit us up later, man. We'll make that happen.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, we're friends on Facebook, bro. Send me a message. I don't know if you're friends with Colby. I wouldn't be friends with Colby if I didn't have to be.
I know him through Jeremy.
Okay. Awesome.
Branch. I don't really know Alex. I've just heard about him. One thing I didn't like about this was sort of the fan reaction about how, like, I already spoke earlier about how the design of the feral predator, while it was cool, it just, I didn't love it as much as the original, right? But I don't hate it by any means.
And again, that is a complaint that I'm not going to be like, oh, it's crap. That's a crap complaint. I mean, that is a valid complaint. It is different. Yeah. Some people just like different shit.
But whenever I say that, a lot of people are like, well, you know, I'm alternating lowercase and capitals here. They're like, it's 300 years before. The technology's not the same. They look different. And I'm like, bitch. Like, I look around and I'm like, you just saw him get dropped. You just saw him get dropped off by a fucking interstellar spaceship with a cloaking device. Like, I don't think their technology has changed that much in 300 years, right?
No.
But I actually kind of dug the spear gun, man. Like, because
that was cool.
The plasma cannon is like easy mode, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he's playing on like hurt me mode now.
Yeah.
But even then,
or the plasma caster. Yeah, the plasma caster is always the last weapon you get in any video game. It's always the weapon he decides to put down when he wants to give you a fair shot. You know, that's the plasma caster. You know, right. So and if I'm not mistaken, even in AVP, it's just like, oh man, these aliens got the predators on the rope until you gave one predator a plasma caster, and then he was just like, dozen aliens dead. Yeah, that was easy.
Scar. Oh yeah, I think that's that one. Did they give this one a name? Like, I know they always like in AVP Requiem, the janitor, the one that does all the cleanup, is called Wolf, who is like basically a Harvey Keitel analog from Pulp Fiction, which is great. Wolf was awesome, by the way. He's a lot more lean, kind of like this feral predator was. The predators in the first AVP are like the Rock.
My God.
What's the Rock's name? It doesn't matter what his name is. Anyway, you walked right into that one.
I'm sorry. I did a thing.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, man. I mean, the suspense was there. I don't know. I liked just pretty much everything about it. The it's not really quicksand. It's just like a mud bog scene. Like, I like how she didn't just like, you know, Ray from Star Wars, like Mary Sue out of it. Like, she was fucked.
Yep.
And had one chance, you know.
Is your tool check, is that Robert?
Richard.
Richard said landscape was awesome. I completely agree, bro. Like, they nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, it was
I wonder how much of that was on location versus maybe I don't know, dude. It all looked legit.
Dude, it was awesome. The sweeping landscapes, every time, like, I didn't think anything was ever out of place ever. I think there, like, some point, at some point, there is somebody had made mention that there is again, you gotta remember, this is conversation taking place between two Native Americans, and the line, okay, comes out of their mouth. It comes out of their mouth, or stuff like that. And there's another complaint that people sit there and say that that for the most part, the Native Americans all look like they are straight out of a GQ catalog, and they look like they could be on the cover of a magazine somewhere.
So,
and then,
I mean, that's every movie.
But then you get to the French trappers, and they're all a bunch of freaking rotten teeth, bumbling, cackling jackasses.
I did see a lot of people say that they didn't like the fact that, like, the Comanches are speaking English the entire time and all that stuff, and they kind of mix in their own native language and stuff.
Did you know that there's a Comanche dub?
There's a Comanche dub. Yes, I was going to mention that. Yeah, that's cool. That pays respect and all that stuff. That's cool. I kind of hoped they were going to do it similar to Tom Cruise movie Valkyrie. Did you see that? It's like mid 2000s. The secret group they're going to try to stop Hitler.
Hitler assassination.
The way that movie opens is brilliant, dude. He's writing in his journal, right? And he's speaking German, like, out loud, right?
Yeah.
And then as time goes by, like 15 seconds, it slowly morphs into English.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like seamlessly done, and it's perfect. Like, I was kind of hoping they would do something like that.
No, a lot of people complain. A lot of people complain that, if you watch, again, going back to the French trappers, is that there's no subtitles for what the French guys are saying, which I like. Sometimes in a movie, I enjoy that kind of stuff. Is nobody here ever watched Apocalyptico?
Apocalyptico?
Has nobody watched
Apocalypto? Yeah.
Apocalypto? Dude, there's
God, that movie's so good, dude.
But anyway, we're just like, you can use the right way, like the 13th Warrior. Do the exact same
thing with
you have no idea what the Northmen are saying until our character Antonio Banderas has been with them long enough.
I listened.
They pick it up, and then they also make that apparent that he is also a he's an educated person and whatever, so he's able to pick up on that shit.
Who cares what they're saying? They're basically goons. Like, they don't even have name tags like in Austin Powers. They're like, you got no chance, that I agree that, like, you're not supposed to know, and it's not so much that it doesn't matter what they're saying, it's that creates suspense, because from our perspective, from Naru's perspective, she doesn't know what they're saying.
Yeah,
right?
They could be sitting there saying, we need to shoot her in the head and be done with her. They just sit there and say, well, we have another one over here. That's what's other. They could be talking about her dog that's literally 15 feet away. They could be talking to her, the brother that they have in a cage. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And that's scary. To its point, we never know what the hell the predator is saying. He never says a goddamn word. He just kind of roar. We buy that shit. And so that's like, for everybody who does have that much of a hard time accepting the fact that you have Native American tribes using English, this is a movie about an alien from outer space that kills people.
Right, like, and for sure, it's like, wait a minute, dragons don't talk. Like, what the, like,
no.
None of this adds up at all. Your ass just sneezed. That's a deep cut right there.
Yeah, it's man.
Like Family Guy? I think so.
Like, and again, I'm not going to sit there and try to convince anybody that they need to love this movie and whatnot. To each their own. but I do know that when I watched it, I think like Colby, if I'm not mistaken, when they first showed this trailer, you said a quote, "It's crap." When the trailer first
I was
came
not
out.
impressed by the trailer,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I knew. I don't remember the timing, but I'm fairly sure that I knew it was moving to Hulu before I watched the trailer. And in my mind, I was like, the studio doesn't believe
Dead.
in it. They didn't even
Dead
give
on
it a
arrival.
3D release, for crying out loud. So, so, God, what a fucking waste of time that was. I look, this movie's great. Let's rank it. Okay,
Ooh.
so I think most people would agree that the original is the best Predator film.
I concur.
And it's almost because it's not even a Predator film. Like, it's a movie about a group of guys that are doing a job where the Predator's just there, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas the other movies focus around their Predators, and I think that may be some of the downfall, where this one did not.
That is very true. The first Predator movie, he was just in the jungle, and this military operation just kind of happens in front of him.
They weren't hunting him; like, they just showed up and he was there. So yeah, I'm prepared to rank this one second. I do really love the 2010 Predators. I think it gets a bad rap. I think it's better than people say.
Yeah.
But this movie's really good, man. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, did not fully love the movie, mostly because I couldn't quite experience the way that it probably should have been yet. So I think on a rewatch, I'll probably really, really love it.
I am going to put Prey under Predator and Predator 2.
Ooh,
and that is
okay.
it. I'm putting it on 3. I'm putting it.
I've not seen Predator 2 in so long, so I need to watch that again.
Yeah, Predator 2 again. Okay, I'll tell you what happened to fucking Predator 2. Predator 2 was nowhere near as good as the first. That's what we kept with, and so we kept that in our minds for so long. And then the next Predator movie was AVP.
It was what, 15 something years? It was a long time.
So there was AVP, AVPR, which I do not even like fucking talking about. I will never watch that movie ever again. And then there was
real quick.
No, don't you fucking do it.
The Predator, no. the Predator in Requiem is legit. Wolf is great. That's
okay.
The only good thing I can say.
Can we move off of this movie, please?
Oh my god, dude, Danny Glover. Wait, sorry, wrong button. I'm too old for this. Only 2 days till retirement.
Oh, I gotta get out of this shit. Anyway, so there was I'll put it in third. I'll put it right above Predators. I watched Predators yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and,
okay.
Yeah, I'm saying it's still enjoyable. You know, I watched Predators again.
There's a lot of talent in that movie, dude.
Yeah,
freaking Mahershala Ali is like one of the first people killed in that movie, and a fucking Oscar winner, dude. Last like 10 minutes in that movie. Blade.
Danny Trejo doesn't make it. Topher Grace doesn't make it.
Yeah.
And actually, funny enough, I was doing some research before I made my argument about like to show us how Arnold can't even go hand in hand with it. I believe, like, what's his name? The guy who kills the Predator at the end?
Royce,
but no, what's the actor's name?
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody is the only one to go fisticuffs with the Predator and win. He literally beats that thing to death with an axe.
Yeah.
Danny Glover suckers him in and then gets uses the Predator's technology against them. So
yeah, I do. The one thing that I kind of missed from this one is, like, I've always liked it when the Predators kind of acknowledge like a really skilled human and their honor and stuff. You know, like an AVP. Scar cuts off the thing and marks her cheek with all that stuff. You know, like I wanted to see that, but after realizing this is just a more visceral version of the Predator, you know, it makes sense why they didn't do that. And yeah, that's a face only a mother could love. That dude was not. he was in a bad way, dude. What did you think about the whole like orange flower thing,
dude? Okay, we can talk about. I thought it was interesting.
I just meant I'm so glad that when she falls into the mud, that wasn't her way of like realizing like, oh, this could work, because I don't think it's ever clear to them that they don't ever see through his, you know, biomask or whatever. so they don't know how that he sees people that way, right? Arnie kind of just figures it out naturally. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that she didn't fall in the mud and realize, oh, I'll just sit here, you know.
No, you're right. I mean, no, what was it? You're right. They didn't look through it. Did you not? Do you not remember how she realized that he sees thermal?
Yeah. So the whole thing, that's what I'm saying. Like at that point in the movie, she didn't know that. She
Oh,
realizes
yeah.
she realizes it when Raphael is crawling or whatever, and he can't see him because I think she even says like, "Oh, you can't see him" or whatever.
Yep.
Question from Eric Jonathan, but would you watch a 30-minute recut of AVP2 as a quasi silent film exclusively from Wolf's perspective? Dude,
I'm not talking about AVP2.
I can just imagine him like sitting there in his like Predator office chair reading like Predator Net and being like, God damn it, those xenomorphs are doing it again. You know,
my God.
I'm telling you, that movie sucks. Okay, but it has
bad.
It has some cool scenes in it when you actually see the Yalta homeworld for the 30 seconds that you get it. You know, it's cool.
You're right. Eric says, I love that the Predator defeated the mud just by being twice her height. That is amazing. That is a great point. It's like, how do we get out of this? Oh, I'm going to stand up.
Yeah. She was really struggling, and I think she kind of knew that he was going to get out of it because of the way that she had put placed the skull. The Predator's reaction where he looks around and he goes, "Huh?" And then like it hits him like that was a little on the nose, but you know,
no, it literally was on the nose.
Good one. I mean, 2022 can't help itself, you know.
No.
I really enjoyed this movie. I did not think I was going to like it at all. I thought it was going to be another. What was the last one? The Predator. Right?
Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah.
The titles are so
similar.
I
haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one.
That's a good question. Was Feral Predator a Bad Blood? I don't see how you could like say any other way. Like I think he would have to be. Although he was dropped off by
people.
A group. Yeah. So unless it's another group of Bad Bloods, because I think the ones in Predators, the bigger ones are Bad Bloods, because that's why they're sort of on that planet, like just sort of marooned there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. The skull and the mandibles on this one were really, really wide.
Yeah.
I mean, like they went for it there, but
yeah,
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was weird not seeing the little mesh though, dude. That speaking of the mesh, that the net that he threw where the guy just like disintegrates.
All of his weapons were badass.
His shield was really cool because it wasn't just defensive. When he like opens it up and then decapitates the guy and cuts the tree in half, it's like, oh, it's not just a defensive shield.
So badass. There was I liked his little his little slap band of death. That was like, oh God.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's terrifying. Somebody had a fear of slap bands. And that's how that thing came into existence.
What was the deal with his different eyes? Yeah, I saw that too. And I think that the answer to everything is like for these questions is basically he's just a slightly different species. You know, I mean, it's not really a secret, but like it's kind of low key. Every new Predator movie, we see new versions of them, or you know, yeah. So it's maybe that's just what it is.
I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of them out there. You know, everyone could be different.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you know, people. We don't all look the same. I'm used to seeing that really kind of like tan olive skin and the mesh pants and all that stuff. Like, and like this one's dreadlocks were like super super thin.
Yeah.
The other ones.
Check out what Eric just posted. I want to answer his question real quick.
This one here.
Yep. Was there only one big boy in Predators? It took him as a warden overseeing the remedial predation class for the runts. I think in Predators there were three.
Yeah,
well, there was technically four. There was one that was strung up, but there was three. They were running as a pack.
Yeah,
you had the hound leader or the pack leader that was in charge of the hounds.
Hold on, they give them names. Go ahead. I'll look.
Yeah, but there's also one that uses like this little technology thing as a falcon. He's the tracker.
Falconer is his name.
Falconer. Yeah, there you go. And then of course there was the apex, the guy that got out there and he was or the alpha, whatever you wanted to call him. And he was the guy in charge. Everyone else kind of tracked him. They used the hounds to flush them out, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is actually really cool. And I liked how all the different characters from Predators
Tracker
had their own gun.
Yeah, Tracker is one, Falconer is the other one, and then I'm looking here. Sorry, but Berserker was
Oh yeah,
the big one. Yeah, and I think that like I think they were just showing that those three because they do work together, right? That's I think that's probably the best team we've seen of Predators because the ones in
yeah,
AVP, I mean, two of them just get wasted quickly.
yeah,
Scar is the only one that
yeah.
lasts the entire movie, and the ones in AVP are way too big, dude. I mean, they're just way too big.
Yeah, it's
Like
almost
bulky.
they're so big. It almost looks like an inconvenience to be that size, even in that
Yeah.
big ass, pyramid.
Especially in that pyramid.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Those moving floors and shit.
I mean, like, and if you want to have a big bulky, excuse me, if you want to have a big bulky brawler predator with like Wolverine type claws on each hand, and that's all he does, that'd be badass. And if you want to have your super sleek uh ninja like predator, I think that would be really
Yeah.
cool. There is so much stuff they could do within this the Predator franchise. It would be really bad or badass, and I would love to see. And like, it's still in my top 5 movies that I want to see, which is an AVP done right. I want to see a good Alien vs. Predator movie.
And Eric's right. The ones in AVP are mostly like young. They're young bloods because that's what they're doing. They've been dropped off to do that their first xenomorph kill. But it's like, why are they so big? Like they're huge, dude. Compared to the jungle predator and the feral predator and wolf are much more like lean and stuff. Those ones were it was just a design choice. Whatever. So yeah, man, that's Prey.
Yep.
I really liked it. I'm shocked actually how much I liked it, and I'm really glad that it's gotten the praise that it has. Okay, that's it. I told you I was done with the months, dude.
You said you were done like 18 times, dude. I'm sick of you.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But yeah, man, the movie is good, and I definitely want to watch it again, where I can get the full effect of the music and sound effects and everything.
Dude, yeah, like tomorrow, if you have time while everyone's out of the house, plug that thing in, watch it on your headphones. You will not be disappointed. I loved it. I was smiling during this movie. I thought everything was really cool. From the first time that rattlesnake goes to strike and he gets him mid-strike, dude. That's how fast this thing is.
Yeah.
They set him up amazing. It's freaking, I'm not going to say perfect. It is an amazing movie. I tell you what, for a Predator movie released in 2022, it was perfect for me. I will say that.
That's what surprised me the most is in this, political climate that a movie like this could be released and be totally different than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah. So, really quick about that. I think
are there fancy credits at the end?
Yes. Yeah. There's something
like
that happens at the very, 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 very.
Oh no! What is it? I didn't see it.
Okay, so how it's all like the cave art or whatever.
I knew that.
You get to the very end, and the 3 Predator ships come from out of the clouds.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the cave drawing though. It's in the cave drawing like
style,
animation,
right?
Yeah, but cool. Anyway, so really quick before we take off, I want to say this. I think Colby was saying, oh my God, I was going to say political climate, then it got me.
I was just saying that it turned out completely different than I thought it would based on where we are today.
Okay, so there is a line within the trailer, and so you hear a voice ask, "Why do you want to hunt?" And she says, "Because you say I can't." Now, in the trailer, that was a red flag for me. It's like, oh boy, here we go, girl power. But in the movie, she's is speaking to her mother.
Yeah.
And
which makes so much more context.
We can then relate to that. It's like how many times Jesus Christ, as a man, have I been told by my parents that you can't do something? And I'm like, well, the reason I want to do it is because you said I can't fucking do it. So it's just like it made it so much more relatable.
Too. And I noticed that for sure, where it was like, because in the trailer it's like, oh boy, here we go.
Exactly.
But
in the trailer,
within the context of the movie,
it
made so much more sense in the movie. Because she's like, look, I don't want to end up like you. Like I can do this.
Yeah, no shit.
I liked it.
So, and even in the patriarchal, she goes hand to hand with a couple of other Comanche warriors. And if you watch the scene, even after they punch her in the face, there's this sign of like, she doesn't get mad at them for doing it. She's mad because this is what she has to do.
Yeah.
Her brother is in charge and has sent this group of warriors out to retrieve her. And she is finally accepting. It's like, you know what? This is what I have to fucking do. and she's not pissed off about the actual action of them coming to get her. So she's more irritated that just let me fucking do my shit, man. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of like little things that I think people. I've heard a lot of like yapping heads talking about this movie and have gone on at length about saying how, oh yeah, this is this thing about the patriarchal society or whatever. And I never once felt that way about this movie.
No,
And I
no,
watched
that's not
it
at all.
I watched it with a lot of apprehension. I was just like, oh, it's gonna come. It's coming.
Yeah, because she doesn't like physically overpower anyone. She outsmarts everyone, and it's more about survival than it is winning.
It's great.
You know? Yeah,
It is amazing. And that's why again it checks every freaking box. This movie was done correctly.
yeah.
It was fun
surprising
to see
they didn't release it in the theater. This would have made money, man. And with the word of mouth that
Dude.
I mean, look, Rotten Tomatoes right now, 92% critics, 81% audience. I mean, dude, this thing would have done well in the theater.
It would have had a low opening weekend.
And then people would have started.
Dude, it would have had legs. I think people would have gone to see this thing until Halloween came around.
Yeah.
Man. I think it would have been like I would be planning to see it a second time in the theater. I do know that much.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would have gone to get my large ass popcorn of a big gulp and had a fucking blast watching this movie.
Well, for those who didn't or weren't here earlier, we've been talking about Prey for a while. We touched base on The Sandman on Netflix. I've watched the first 5 episodes of that. I highly recommend that. I'm a big fan of the comic book and the audiobook that they released a couple years ago. Really enjoying this series. Give that a look. John, any final thoughts before we end it?
Final thoughts. I promise when we have this show next week, I will have watched at least 2 or 3 episodes of Sandman. I promise, Colby. Now, before we get out of here, hey guys, this is always a lot of fun. I really do appreciate it. Me and Colby talk about this channel all the freaking time, and so we don't like plugging ourselves in the beginning. So I'm going to plug ourselves there at the end. Please, guys, give us a like and a subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I know Colby really does appreciate it. If you guys have any suggestions, if there's stuff that you guys want us to talk about, please let us know, man. We'll talk about anything. Me and Colby struggle to come up with ideas because we feel like we're talking about the same stuff all the time. So you tell us, you give us other stuff to talk about, and I promise we'll touch on it. I know
we'll talk about college football, if you want us to.
Dude, we'll talk about anything. Like me and Colby if you can tell, we can have a conversation. Me and Colby can. There's a lot of times I don't want to listen to them, but we can at least have a conversation. But anyway, guys, thank you. Anybody who showed up today and commented and liked and shared and subbed, you guys are freaking amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. I can't say enough good things about you guys as well. So thank you so much.
We really appreciate it, guys. We're not just saying that. We've been doing this for not quite a year and a half now, and we enjoy it. We like hanging out with you guys, and all of that. So look out for some more videos soon. I am getting a new Richard. I don't know if you were here. I'm getting another pinball machine soon, a System 11. So that's going to be good. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought about Prey and if you've seen Sandman. And as always, fan out. See you guys.
Fan out, guys. You have a good night. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thanks, guys. See ya.